The following is a presentation of SC State Athletics.
The South Carolina State Bulldogs are back in Orangeburg this week to take on Florida A&M in Game 2 of their MEAC season. The Bulldogs have dominated the Rattlers in this series under head coach Buddy Pough, who with a win today will surpass Hall of Famer Willie Jeffries as the winningest coach in South Carolina State history. Will the Bulldogs continue their dominance over Florida A&M and deliver their coach a monumental win? We're about to find out. Coming up next on The Buddy Pough Show.
You are watching The Buddy Pough Show, featuring highlights of SC State University Bulldogs football. This week's matchup, the Florida A&M University Rattlers versus your SC State University Bulldogs. Our sponsors are the County of Orangeburg, Palmetto Health, the South Carolina Education Lottery, the Regional Medical Center, State Farm Insurance Rescue It Agency, Simmons Funeral Homes, Vital Care EMS, and the City of Orangeburg. And now head coach Buddy Pough and our host Ernest Robinson.
It's easy to take a look at this year's South Carolina State-Florida A&M matchup and lose sight of the importance of this football game. Of course, records are made to be broken, but in the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference where you have two undefeated teams, just one conference loss could take a team out of contention for a championship.
We got enough teams that are really playing well that if you lose one, then you fall back in the pack and, back behind the pack, actually, because there's a pack above us. We got to continue to win.
Start looking at this football team, Coach. You played well last week at Delaware State. Coming in this Florida A&M game, let's talk about them and what they do well. We're familiar with this team because they haven't changed much offensively. We've seen these guys before.
Yeah, Ryan Stanley, their quarterback, is the guy that kind of stirs it. It's a Florida team. Those guys will always be able to run. So you got some guys, they're wide receiving core, they're running back, they're all fast guys. So, they can hit the home run on you at any time. We got to kind of limit their big plays. And then on defense, they run very well too. So it'll be a tough game for us because these guys will match up against us in a way where we won't have very many wins, just match up ability-wise.
Let's talk about South Carolina State from a defensive side. You get Dominguez Wilson back this week. That helps from a depth perspective, but Patrick Godbolt came on and played well last week at Delaware State.
He did, and we do get Dominguez back, but we get Chad Gilchrist back. That's the guy I'm excited about getting back today. So, we looking at our best football player on defense returning today. I'm excited as all get out to see how he plays. I'm sure there's going to be some rust that you got to knock off of him a little bit, but at the same time, we think we got a good, solid group of kids over there on that side of the ball, on both sides, actually. And at that point, then we'll see what happens.
Coach, when you start talking about the offense, of course, Tyrese Nick is the quarterback, and Tyrese Nick has played well this season.
Tyrese has. He's continuing to, to improve in a way where you don't necessarily get a chance to load up on one part of his game. At one part, everybody thought they could load the box and make him throw the football, and he couldn't be effective that way. Well, that's not the case anymore. So, we feel good about all the different kinds of things that he can do, and it gives us a chance to have a much more varied offense in a way that people can't gang up on any particular phase.
All right, Coach, it's not all roses. Let's talk about that special teams area, specifically the punt return game and securing the football. What have we done to improve that from last week at Delaware State?
We've gotten a new punt return guy. We keep trying to push the envelope there, trying to find a guy. Scotty Robinson is going to return punts this week. And he came to us and said, hey, I can return punts. I said, well, good, get back there, let me see. So, he's been back there practicing all week, and he looks really good. So I'm excited about what he brings to the table that way. And, we got to change some people around because he was on our punt block team all the time. It's just that we had to switch it around a little bit personnel-wise. So I'm looking forward to seeing where he is. And then the rest of our special teams game should be good. Benjamin didn't punt the ball real well last week. We expected him to be better. We think we found something in his drop. Hopefully that's going to clean him up some. And at the same time, our kicking game with Bredesen, we think, is also in pretty good hands.
All right, Coach, what's it going to take to get the win here at home?
We got to do something both sides. We got to stop them and actually be a balanced offensive football team, and then we got to kick the ball pretty good.
Thanks, Coach. Let's go to Saturday's first half highlights. The funny thing about this game, Bill, there are a couple guys who I know very well were here for Game 1 win and Game 1 28.
That's the two of us.
There you go. Bredesen kicks off. This is going to be Ray, and he's going to fill it at the 3, at the 5, at the 10, at the 15, at the 20, at the 25, up to the 27-yard line for Florida A&M. 2 receivers are to the right, 1 to the left as a Rattler attack right to left. Handoff. This is Kirkland trying to get outside. He is knocked down in the backfield. Shaq Davis is wide to the right. Shotgun snap. They give it to LeBron Mars. Trying to get outside. Nothing there. LeBron stops, puts his foot in the ground, does well to get back to the line of scrimmage. If he did, it's 3rd down and 10. Shotgun snap. Stanley back to pass. Stanley in trouble. Stanley's hit, but he gets it to Kendrick in the backfield. At the 20, at the 15, down to the 13-yard line. In motion now is the Zenda Ray. Play action fake. They throw the quick out. It is caught. Touchdown, Florida A&M. Florida A&M has jumped out to an early lead. It's Florida A&M 7, South Carolina State nothing. Yeah. Shotgun formation now for Therese Nick. Nick, same play. Pitches it back to LeBron Mars again. LeBron this time fumbles the football. And at the end of the first quarter, our score, Florida A&M 7, South Carolina State nothing. In motion goes Smith from left to right. Rolling to his right is Franklin. Intro Stanley, Stanley wrapped up, Stanley throw, intercepted at the 10 by South Carolina State. He's at the 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. Returning this football, it is B.J. Davis for South Carolina State. South Carolina State goes from potentially being down 14-0 to tied at 7. Fadul nearly has it blocked. It is blocked by South Carolina State. Picking it up into the end zone. Touchdown, South Carolina State. But South Carolina State, with 7 minutes and 32 seconds to go here in the first half, have willed ourselves to go back into this football game. Stanley, the quarterback. He gives it to Jennings. Jennings wrapped up. Dominguez Wilson coming in with the tackle. Shotgun snap. Stanley back to pass, throws it out in the flat. It is caught. What a nice catch. Oh, no, it was caught up at the 35-yard line. In motion goes Manigo. Shotgun snap. Here comes pressure up the middle. Stanley steps up. He throws. Got a man after wide open at the 25-yard line. On the reception for the Florida A&M Rattlers, that was Xavier Smith. Shotgun formation. Jennings in the backfield. To give it to Jennings inside. Jennings got an opening. Jennings in the end zone. And the score at the half, South Carolina State 14, Florida A&M 14. We'll have more of the Buddy Pough Show after this timeout.
Every day, you'll find the most innovative orthopedic care in the Midlands at Palmetto Health USC Orthopedic Center. Each of our highly skilled, compassionate physicians specializes in a unique orthopedic condition, caring for people of all ages and stages of life. We'll guide every step of your treatment, from diagnosis to recovery, so that you can get back to feeling like yourself as quickly as possible. You win when you choose Palmetto Health USC Orthopedic Center.
Since 2002, the lottery has helped award more than 1 million scholarships. So when you play, you're not just taking a chance. You're also giving one.
I was off my game. Every day, my hip got worse and worse.
The coach's arthritis progressed to the point where his joint was bone on bone. Between the pain and the loss of range of motion, he decided to have the hip replaced here at the Regional Medical Center.
I was walking the very next day. I was going so fast, they said, slow down, coach, slow down. It feels great to be coaching again.
The Regional Medical Center. We're changing how you think about health care.
You stumble over a blade of grass. Come on.
Coach, this Florida A&M team created some problems for us offensively, where in the past, in every game so far this season, we've been able to get off and get on the board first, but they created some issues.
You're exactly right. We had great field position early, and it was a bad sign that we couldn't seem to get anything going, even though the ball was on the plus side of the field. They came out in a bear look, which was a little bit of a 3-down lineman look up front that they can beat you up inside that way. And we couldn't seem to make very much of an adjustment in the run game. And then as we got into the passing game, Tyrese didn't quite have it today. So, we ended up in the end of the game making a move, to get another quarterback in there. But during the whole, I guess maybe the first 3 quarters of the game, it was a struggle.
The thing you like about your football team, though, even though we got behind early on and the offense couldn't get going, all of a sudden it's your defense that picks you up and gets you on the board, and then your special teams kind of continues that. Next thing you know, you're in this football game. You're
exactly right. I think we scored 21 points on defense and special teams, and it's a situation where I don't know if you can depend on that to happen in a regular situation. So we got to figure out how to get our offense going. But at the same time, as we continue to, struggle that way, then I think it weakened our defense to the point where we couldn't really get them stopped. And we got to fix that, because it takes a good offense sometimes to keep your defense going.
In that first half, Florida A&M doubled the time of possession. I think they had the football 20 minutes. We only had it about 9.5 minutes. And keeping that defense on the field really took its toll in the heat on Saturday.
It did. It was hot, and our defense played, so many more snaps than they probably should have. Some of it to their own problems because of the fact that we couldn't seem to get off the field on 3rd down, but at the same time, if we had held onto the ball a little bit more offensively, then that would have helped also.
Talk about that 3rd down. Florida A&M on the day, 8 of 16 in 3rd down, and you're not going to win a lot of football games when you're giving up 50% on 3rd down.
No, we say as an offensive team that if we can work at about a 45% clip in your 3rd down efficiency, then generally you got a chance to be in pretty good shape. They were sitting on 50%, so that ain't good.
All right, this Florida A&M South Carolina State game was a tough, physical football game with a score of 42-38. Coach, you wouldn't think that, but man, it was costly from an injury standpoint.
It really was. At the very beginning, Scotty Robinson, one of our corners and our punt return guy that we had just thought that we had found, got hurt. He got a little bit of a knee deal, and Big Shaq Crouch, one of our defensive tackles, had a little bit of a knee injury also. Kobe Durant had a little bit of a knee deal. Tyrese Nick had a little bit of a concussion deal. We continuously had guys in and out, but most of them should be back except for the first 2.
All right, that is your Palmetto Health Richland injury report for the Florida A&M game. We'll take time out here on the Buddy P Show and come back with more after these messages.
Every day, you'll find the most innovative orthopedic care in the Midlands at Palmetto Health USC Orthopedic Center. Each of our highly skilled, compassionate physicians specializes in a unique orthopedic condition, caring for people of all ages and stages of life. We'll guide every step of your treatment, from diagnosis to recovery, so that you can get back to feeling like yourself as quickly as possible. You win when you choose Palmetto Health USC Orthopedic Center.
42-38 loss to Florida A&M. It's tough to single one player out, Coach, especially when you have a unit that played so well that kept you in this football game and really gave us an opportunity to win it in the end.
You're exactly right, Ernest. Our heart team, our heart player is a team this week. It's our dog team. We call our punt block team the dog team. We spell it D-A-W-G that way. And those guys generally will get after everybody's punter. And I talked to Florida A&M's special teams coordinator, who used to be an assistant here, and he said, man, nobody's gotten close to our punt all year, and you guys got two. Those guys really got after it, and it was a situation where we needed points badly, and those guys created 2 scores for us that way, so they are the all-heart players for the Florida A&M game.
That's the dog team of South Carolina State as we take time out and have more on this edition of the Buddy Pough Show.
My first thought was, what's going to happen to me? Am I going to live? My second thought was, I needed to live because I thought about my children.
Betty's mammogram showed a lump in her breast. We surgically removed the cancer.
And Betty was referred to Mabry Cancer Center, where she received chemotherapy and radiation therapy.
It was the opportunity to live again.
The Regional Medical Center. We're changing how you think about health care.
Today, I'm cancer-free.
Since 2002, the lottery has helped award more than 1 million scholarships. So when you play, you're not just taking a chance. You're also giving one.
Every day, you'll find the most innovative orthopedic care in the Midlands at Palmetto Health USC Orthopedic Center. Each of our highly skilled, compassionate physicians specializes in a unique orthopedic condition, caring for people of all ages and stages of life. We'll guide every step of your treatment, from diagnosis to recovery, so that you can get back to feeling like yourself as quickly as possible. You win when you choose Palmetto Health USC Orthopedic Center.
Ali short kick, end over end. This is going to be Vereen, and he's going to field it at the 16. Vereen at the 20. Vereen at the 25. Vereen is hit and brought down. 2 receivers are left, 1 right. Vereen goes in motion from right to left. Back to pass. Therese Nick looking long. Dialing it up long. Has got a man out there, and there was a penalty marker. Should have been a penalty marker down. Davis was pushed at the last instant. Stanley back to pass, throws a little stop route to the outside receiver. That's Manigo. 12:40 and counting. Stanley, play action fake, throws it over the middle. Guy wide open. Smith. And Smith gets into the end zone for the score. With 12 minutes and 30 seconds to go in the third quarter, Florida A&M is taking South Carolina State's best punch and delivered another one. 12:23 to go in the third. We trail 21-14. Play action fake, Therese. Therese got a lane. Therese at the 35, at the 40. And hit down at the 41-yard line. 6-yard pickup for Therese on first down. Shotgun snap, Therese back to pass, going long. Got a man out there, and I was about to lose my mind as Shaq Davis was held all the way down the field. Burrows and Vereen to the right, Davis to the left. 3rd down and 6. Nick rolling to his right. Nick in trouble. Nick going to get knocked down. Nothing happening.
My goodness.
Sacked all the way back at the 40-yard line. Let's call it 2nd and 8. Stanley back to pass, going long. Got a man wide open. Oh, my goodness. At the 40, 35-30, 25-20. Cuts back. This is George Webb. Webb down to the 5-yard line. Terrell Jennings in at running back. He's got 1 touchdown already. In motion is Ray. They give it to Jennings over the left side. Jennings again into the end zone. Touchdown. 28 for Florida A&M, 14 for South Carolina State. 3 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Just the opposite of what we had a moment ago. Quarterback draw, Therese Nick at the 40. Nick wrapped up, hit down at the 43-yard line. Two receivers are to the left, one to the right. Option to the right side. Nick fakes the option now going long. Got a man out there, Shaq Davis. Should be 6. Davis falls down after he makes the catch. Snap's good, hold is good, toe is in it. It is up, and it is
Good.
good. So Dylan Bredesen gets us something. It's the end of the third quarter play here in Orangeburg. Our score, Florida A&M 28, South Carolina State 17. And Yancey Washington was on the wrong side. He switches back now. Nick back to pass. Nick looking long. Nick looking, Nick throwing. Got a man out there. It is caught. DeMontrez Burrows. What a catch. Up at the 42-yard line. Two receivers right, one left for Therese Nick. Shotgun snap. Nick back to pass. Plenty of time. Nick has his pass knocked up in the air. It's intercepted by Florida A&M. Shotgun formation now for Ryan Stanley. Zendere is in motion. Jennings goes outside. He is wrapped up. Domingos Wilson, his third tackle for loss in this game. Ryan Franklin, the quarterback. Shotgun snap. Back to pass. Franklin throws it out in the flat, man wide open over there. That's Manigault again on the other side. Three receivers left, one right. Stanley, pump fake, looking into the end zone. Throws it over there. It is intercepted in the end zone. South Carolina State. The Bulldogs come up with a play with 11:32 to go. 1st and 10 from the Bulldog 20-yard line. Fields back to pass. Fields throws it in the slot. Traquan DuBose at the 35, at the 40. At the 45, he's knocked out. 2nd down and 2 at the 48 of Florida A&M. Back to pass is Corey Fields. Fields going up top. Got a man out there. Vereen caught at the 13-yard line. Two receivers right, one left. Football on the near side. Corey Fields back to pass. Fields lets it go into the end zone. It is high. It is caught. Is it touchdown? Yes! Who knows, though? Quincy Hill holding. Hill gets it down. Bredesen's toe is in it. It is up. And just like that, in a matter of seconds, a minute and a half, Corey Fields, the sophomore from Baptist Hill High School in Charleston, drives the Bulldogs down the field. It's 28 for Florida A&M, 24 for South Carolina State. Shotgun formation. Stanley back to pass. They throw a bubble screen. It is breaking free for Florida A&M. That's Xavier Smith, and he is tackled down. Ryan Stanley, the quarterback, they give it to Bonnet. Bonnet up the middle. Bonnet got the first down. Bonnet looking for more. Makes a man miss. Touchdown. What a run. It's 35 for Florida A&M, 24 for South Carolina State. Back to pass, Fields. Fields lets it go over the middle. Caught. DeMontrez Burrows, that's 13 yards up to the 48-yard line. Shotgun snap. Fields back to pass. Fields looking. Fields throwing. Fields caught. Traquan DuBose upended at the 35-yard line of Florida A&M. Three receivers left, one right. Back to pass is Corey Fields. Fields over the middle. It is caught. Wolverine down to the 20-yard line. Shotgun formation for the Bulldogs. Fields back to pass. Fields lets it go. Got a man out there. Could it be? Touchdown. Fields snap, play action fake. Fields throws it up. It is intercepted by Florida A&M. You got to make the play on this guy.
Yeah.
And you do. It's 35 for Florida A&M, 30 for South Carolina State. Rattlers can't get too conservative. They give it to Bonnet over the left side. Bruce Johnson's got him. Tackled behind the line. Yard loss on the play. Now the Bulldogs have 10 on the line of scrimmage. We might be coming. I'll change my mind if we block this. And here we come. It's blocked. It's blocked by South Carolina State. The football's going into the end zone. We got it. Touchdown Bulldogs. Corey Fields throws it up. It is caught. Touchdown. Two-point conversion. Shaq Davis going up high in the end zone. It's 38 for the Bulldogs, 35 for Florida A&M. We've got 2:18 remaining in this football game. Two receivers each way. Ryan Stanley, the quarterback. Shotgun snap. Play action fake. Stanley going into the end zone. Wide open. Touchdown. Florida A&M. So the final here this afternoon, Florida A&M 42, South Carolina State 38. Coaches, we begin the second half, 14-14 in the score. Had to be a little disheartening, though, to find yourself just moments out of the locker room down 2 touchdowns instead of tied at 14, because there was an opportunity in the first half. We could have gone down 2 touchdowns, but were able to stay in it. Now we were down 2 touchdowns, but the team still didn't give up.
You are right. We somehow or another found ourselves 3 and out on offense, and it was a situation where if we hadn't done something there offensively at the very end, then it would have really gotten ugly. But, you know, this team, you got to give them credit. They'll find a way to get back in it, and somehow or another we did. And as our special teams and defense made a stop or two, we finally found a score, and then we got Corey Fields in the game. And he was hot as a firecracker when he got in there at the very beginning and went like, you know, maybe 8 or 14 or something like that, and had a bunch of completions in a row and had a couple scores. So, you know, that was a big part of the reason why we were able to get in the football game, along with the fact that we had some special teams plays.
You know, Florida A&M scored a late touchdown to go up 35-24 with 4:53 to go. Your team comes back, runs it down the field twice. One, you run it down the field, you score, then you come back with a big plot, and all of a sudden, you're up 36-35 in this football game.
There was a problem with the whole scenario. It was that we scored too quickly. Instead of blocking the punt, what we should have done was block the punt and saved it in the field of play. And then at that point, then we could have used up the rest of the clock and then scored at the very end. That would have possibly given us a chance to not give them the football back. But as luck would have it, we gave them the ball back with about 2 minutes to go, and they got it down and got it in, and we couldn't get it back down the field.
You know, you start thinking about that, Coach. I guess the positive thing we take from this football game is this football team is one you won't count out.
Well, you won't, and you know that's a good thing. But at the same time, we got to find ourselves a lot sooner than we did this game. And you know, I'd like to think that this offense is one that we can depend on to be a lot better that way. And today it was not. So, you know, we got to go back to the drawing board and figure out exactly why we had the issues that we did.
Now, it doesn't get any easier for South Carolina State because this week the Bulldogs will celebrate homecoming but take on Morgan State. And for those South Carolina State historians know what Morgan State and homecoming to South Carolina State, what that can turn into. And of course, the Bears this past week took care of Delaware State.
Yeah, they actually beat Delaware better, more than what we beat them the week before. So it's obvious that Morgan's improving every week. And we better have our stuff together. If not, then we'd be going another week before we get this record broke.
Talking about the record broke, Coach, from the standpoint of oppression, and I know, and I'm people that know you know, that's not a concern of yours. Your concern is getting this football team playing well again.
Totally. I don't even really think about the actual record itself. You think about trying to get this team at a point where they go out and execute, you know, at a level that I think that we are proud of. And you know, we got some work to do to get back to that point now, because this was a big chink in our armor this past game, and I'm looking forward to getting in the film room and seeing what happened exactly so that we can actually go about the task of fixing it.
That's the neat thing about college football. You get to come back next week and do it again. And folks, we hope to do it again next week. Next week, a little better note, though, hopefully. This week, South Carolina State still back in Orangeburg at the Oliver C. Dawson Bulldog Stadium, Willie Jeffries Field, as we celebrate homecoming when we take on the Morgan State Bears. We hope to see you then, and of course next week, right here on Fox Sports Southeast on The Buddy Pough Show.
Thank you for watching The Buddy Pough Show, featuring highlights of SC State University Bulldogs football. Our sponsors are the County of Orangeburg, Palmetto Health, the South Carolina Education Lottery, the Regional Medical Center, State Farm Insurance, Russ Hewitt Agency, Simmons Funeral Homes, Vital Care EMS, and the City of Orangeburg. Join us again next week for highlights of SC State University Bulldogs football.